Is Vucevic worth $118 million? We'll talk about that and more right after this. Listen, if you're new to the channel, please like, share, subscribe. It's your boy Pkidd from the Windy City Breeze. We talk Chicago sports at Chicago Talks. Get in tune with us. But you already know what we do. You already know why you came. Let's get into it. Contract talks for Vooch, extension talks for Vooch have begun. That's what's been reported pretty much everywhere at this point. And that thanks to Shams, who's been on the grind doing this thing. And the numbers have been kind of shocking, if you ask me. One, he's eligible for an extension, 4-year extension up to $118 million is what is reported by several different sources. And I had to ask myself, do I want to re-sign Vooch? Absolutely. I think re-signing Vooch is a necessity. If we're going to maintain competitiveness, if we're going to sit there and help Zach and actually develop some type of synergy between the two-man game, I think it doesn't happen between Zach and DeMar. I think it happens between Zach and Nikola Vucevic. I don't see anything else really making sense. Everyone has always been in the comments saying that we need to trade him, this and the other. Again, he's been one of our most consistent players this entire time. I don't know what game people have been watching, but when we really need a bucket, he's the guy that comes through for us. When we're sitting there talking about why Zach is dribbling off his foot and doing the Jaylen Brown thing that everyone was talking about for the last couple hours, guess what? Vooch was there getting us a bucket. In our first playoff series in a while, actually since Jimmy Butler, when nobody else was scoring against the Bucks, guess who was sitting there trying to get buckets and actually doing a pretty decent job? Vooch. Like, he's been our most consistent player. His role has been kind of diminished due to the fact of how Billy Donovan played it, whatever you want to call it. But as a player, Vooch has been steady. I think he has, I'm pretty sure it's well over 50 double-doubles and stuff like that. He's been what you want from your center. Everyone wants to compare him to Wendell, this, that, and the other younger players. Guess what? Vooch has been that guy. In fact, if Wendell put up Vooch numbers sooner, he'd probably still be in the Bulls jersey. The simple fact is he hasn't done it and doesn't look like I hope he does, but whatever, right? Needless to say, Vucevic to me is worth the extension. Now, 118 puts you at a heisty price point. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you. That puts you at 118 over 4. I think that breaks down to about, my math right, carry the 2. I think that's about 29 and some change a year. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. Hey, listen, I'm not gonna sit here and make it like it's my money. I'm not gonna sit like it's coming out of my pocket. But at the end of the day, when I compare him to other players as to what he's making, is that what he should be getting? It's an up and down thing. For instance, we have 2 centers right now who are going to go head to head in the NBA Finals. One of them was worth every penny you throw at him. I don't think you could throw enough of the bag at Jokic right now. He's worth it. He does everything. He scores, rebounds, he assists, he runs the offense. They run it through him, which is something that I think we need to do more of in Chicago. Run it through our big man. But he just does. He's a statistical anomaly. Then you got Bam, who is making about $32 million a year, which is more than Vooch made. It's $10 million more this year than what Vooch made. And you can't tell me that Bam is a better center than Vooch. Bam ain't nowhere near a better center than Vooch. I've watched Bam all series and all playoffs rather, because they've just been the talk of the playoffs. Ain't no way in heck you think Bam is a better center than Vooch. But yet and still, he's getting the bag. He's going to be getting the bag for a long time. Now, I know this is what have you done for me lately, but comparatively, Vooch is worth every penny. So this is one of those things where I'm letting people understand that some people are going to say, oh, no, he shouldn't. He's not this, he's that. Vooch is a freakishly good player. He's a top 10 center in the league. we can go down the list. I mean, after you get past the first three, which should be easy. It should be easy to say Embiid. Should be easy to say Jokic, Anthony Davis. I'll even throw in a Rudy Gobert from a defensive standpoint and what he does when he gives when given opportunity offensively. I would probably even give you Valanciunas, because I think Valanciunas is a really good center. He's just in New Orleans. You don't see a lot of them and stuff like that. I even give you that. I may even give you Sabonis. But then I'm like, hey, you stretching it if you try to sit there and say that Vooch shouldn't be next up on that list. I was stretching it with Valanciunas. So all I'm saying is Vooch is worth the money. Now, at 118, again, it's a lot of coin. It's a lot of coin right there. I do feel like that, because considering what our cap is and everything like that, I don't know if it's going to be something like that. I could see somewhere in around that, and there were some people quoted on this particular article that guessed it would be somewhere around the 48 to 50 range on a 2-year deal, or a 3-year 66 to 70 something. I could see it being about an $80 million deal with some change, something around there. I could see it being that. You throw in a player option here or a team option toward the end of it, something like that. I could see him getting paid anywhere between $70 to $80 million over the life of his contract on a 3 to 4 year deal. I can see that happening, and I think he's worth it. To put that even more perspective, Robert Williams third, on the Celtics is getting paid $12 million this year. You can't tell me Vooch is not a way better player than them. So he should definitely be getting paid the bag more than him. Like, I just don't think that there's anything. But now here goes the bigger question. If we extend him, what does this mean? One, I think that if you extend Vooch, you sign him, if he's going to be here, that is your exit opportunity for DeMar. And again, has nothing to do with the fact that he's a bad player. I think the 2-man game between your center and your star guard works better, and then you use that other wing to not have redundancy at that position to go and find your next point guard if you're not going to develop one within here. The Bulls are not blowing this up. The Bulls are not going to sit there and they want to be competitive. Everyone knows that. We're not going through a rebuild. We're not rebuilding anything if we're going to keep Zach and extend Vooch. Makes no particular sense if that's what we're going to do. Even if you want to say a sign and trade type of thing, and it's how many teams are going to be really looking for that contract, that thing. I think the Bulls is exactly where Vooch needs to be honest with you. Now, again, this is going to be a wild off season because new CBA takes effect. Some teams are already preparing for that, so they're going to make roster changes to kind of fit and make sure that they're in compliance with that. They don't have any issues. This is the offseason to do it. With Boston losing, I see that team being blown up. I think it's run its course. I think they've hit their ceiling. So whether it's Jason Tatum or Jaylen Brown, we all kind of figure it's going to be Brown. They have to do something there. Right? Something has to move. The Warriors, something has to move. They can't continue the way that they've been continuing. And with Bob Myers no longer being there, it's going to be some people on the move. With the Portland Trailblazers seemingly coming to the point where, hey, it's time to move on from Dame, or Dame actually saying, hey, maybe it's time for me to go. Something has to shake there. I think the Wizards are going to be making some moves on their roster as well. They've been in this complacency stage as well. So I think it's going to be a very interesting game. I think this is going to be one of the most, how do I say this? I think this is going to be one of the most interesting off seasons in NBA history because of how many moves have to be made. And so I think that when you look at the Chicago Bulls, the way that we want to, what we believe we were, everyone believes we were a point guard away. I think we're going to see some moves made where we actually move one of our key pieces. Agent DeMar DeRozan, still high all-star, things of that nature, sell high, and we're going to get some other developing talent, people who may a step above, maybe not even peaked, maybe not have peaked yet. I can't really say who those players are, but I can see us retooling around that and allowing Zach to continue his growth and Vooch to come in and be that anchor on our team. When you need a bucket, he can get it. He can spread the floor. He can shoot. There's not a lot Vooch can't do. And so with all of that being said, you don't get rid of that guy because you don't have another Vooch on your team. You have another player who can do what DeMar does, Zach LaVine. That's why you paid him $215. Again, it's not to say that he's a bad player. The reason he keeps getting brought up is because he's a valuable player. So now, hey, I'm going to keep my top 10 center. I'm going to keep my top 10, 15 guard. I'm going to move my top 15, top 20 guard forward. I'm going to start developing my Patrick Williams in that same position, and I'm going to get some other players around. Use that DeMar DeRozan trade to fill in some other pieces to help us get further. Because guess what? That's what's necessary here. But I want to hear your thoughts. I do believe that Vooch getting an extension is a benefit. It's a bonus. It's a plus. We need it. It's necessary. Get it done. Let's move forward. Let's really start pressing for it. 32 is not old. I'm 32. I don't know why people think 32. It's not old. Right, you're starting to see players play longer. They're come on, 32. Mike was still winning championships at 32. This is way before Madison. Like Kobe still winning. Stop. It's not old, right? Ooh, it's not old. But I will say it is one of those things where you start entering that danger zone of like, hey, we got to start making a move to be either competitive or not, and we don't have a 3-4 year window to kind of prove that. So because I see Zach now itching closer to 30, Vooch being young, early 30s, you got to start making a decision as to where you're going to be. And I think the Bulls are going to do that. But again, I want to hear your thoughts. Like, share, subscribe. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, I'll be in the comments with you, man. Really appreciate you all checking us out. Till next time, man, we got a lot of hot content coming your way. So you stay in tune with that, man. Till next time. Peace.